Welcome everyone to Movement Yoga. My name is Mark Cormier. I'll be practicing with Kathy Cormier today. And if you'd like to see anything specifically, please put it in the chat. It's a nice bright day here in San Francisco, nice and warm. So we've got the window open. Might be a little noisier than usual. Kathy, you ready to practice?
Mm-hmm.
All right, come on up. Anything you'd like to work on today, Kathy?
Not slouching and keeping.
Not slouching.
When I'm seated, I'm at a desk, a reference desk more. Just trying to stay. It's not ergonomic.
Yeah. Any way you can raise your keyboard and stand up and do some of your work.
I think I just have to not interact with the keyboard and that desk as much as possible, and just use it sort of as a information hub.
Excellent. Well, it's part of your yoga, just examining patterns and practices, just so you can figure out how to make yourself better posture, better health,
That's right.
Better spirit, all that good stuff.
That's
It's not
right.
just doesn't just happen on the mat.
It does not.
All right, but this will happen on the mat.
I am happy to
All
be
right.
on the mat.
So let's bring hands on hips. Let's just march it from side to side. Let it get a little bigger. That's right. Yeah, bend the knee, warming up those hips. And then we'll start to dial it in as we stay grounded, mostly through the feet, just rocking it from side to side. And then finding your center. Now rocking it front to back as we lift the toes, we lift the heels. Notice how this engages your core as you keep your balance. And then staying grounded through the heels and toes as we rock it front to back, and then finding your center. At this point, I'll invite you to keep your feet wide, arms by our side. From here, let's find our breath. Long, smooth breaths in. Equally long, smooth breaths out. Finding your Ujjayi breath, slightly constricting the base of your throat, adding a slight sounded feel to your breath. And as we flow through our practice this morning, letting the sound and feel of your breath be a focus of your practice, often compared to the sounds of the ocean as the waves washing in and out. Now finding the tongue loop, tip of the tongue to the hard palate just behind your teeth. Trying to keep that as often as you can, keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face. A Mona Lisa smile, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Opening your eyes if you closed your eyes. And let's work with our wrists a little bit. Just give them a little shake. And let's play the piano. What song are you playing? Edelweiss,
Yeah.
Edelweiss.
I love that one.
That's a nice one. Sound of Music. One
We
of the
sang it
all-time
in sixth grade
faves.
chorus. It was so awesome.
There you go. Which is a waltz, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then hands by your side. Starting the more formal practice here, Sun Salutation A. I'll ask you to go sideways. Feel free to keep that nice wide stance to the feet. And don't worry too much about the frame. Inhaling arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling arms back down. Yeah, let's work the arms first. 2 more times. Inhaling arms up. Exhaling arms down. Inhaling arms up, just observing the natural rhythm of the shoulders. As the arms elevate, the shoulders elevate. As the arms descend, the shoulders descend. Now we'll add a half forward fold, or a half sun sal. Inhaling up. On the exhale, leading with the heart as you fold. Take a breath to arc the back. Hands can cap the knees. On the exhale, rounding the spine, hands can catch the back of the shins. Inhaling arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, standing tall. 2 more times like this. Inhaling arms up. Exhaling, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back, lifting chin and tail, dipping back heart. On the exhale, catching the back of the shins as you traction yourself deeper. Inhaling arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, standing tall. 1 more to go here. Half sun sal. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. Keeping that length as we fold again. Inhaling right in the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun Sal A. Feel free to keep the wider stance or challenging your balance as you narrow your stance. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as you ground on down, and I'm not going to cue vinyasa, as you find your down dog. As we hold this first down dog in this practice, I'll invite you to walk your dog as you bend one leg deeply and then the other, grounding down to the opposite heel, seeing how your body feels this morning, what feels tight, what feels right, what feels somewhere in between. Yeah, you might add a little sway of the shoulders, maybe a little swing of the head. Let it be loose, let it be you. From this place of movement, moving back towards relative stillness, long arms, long legs, long spine, full breath. Despite the lack of overt movement, you're still breathing, your heart's still beating, your mind's still moving. And by focusing on your breath as it flows in and out, finding a little more space between each breath, each beat of the heart, each thought. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little higher, more space in the low back. And then looking between the hands and mindfully making your way front. Maybe you take a jump, maybe not. Take a breath to find length when you arrive, arcing the back. Arching the spine as we fold again. Inhaling, finding your flat back, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, standing tall. Second one, much like the first. This time I will cue vinyasa. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as you ground on down. Elbows stay soft as you find a push-up, chaturanga. Elbows shave the ribs, yoga style. Inhaling either cobra or up dog. If the hips stay down, it's a cobra. If you lift the hips up, it becomes an up dog. And then pushing back, rolling over the toes. Feel free to use the knees or not as you find your down dog. And holding for 3 to 5 long, slow breaths. As we hold this down dog, either holding it in stillness, seeing what arises, or feeling free to walk your dog as you stir things up. Whatever feels right and good for you. It's your practice. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher and looking between the hands as you either step or maybe take that frog jump front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding again. Inhaling, hands over head pose. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do one more sun cell A. We'll throw a plank into the mix. Inhaling, up. Exhaling, over. Take a breath to create length. Keeping that length as we ground down, and cycling through vinyasa. As you find your push-up, inhaling into your back bend, and then exhaling back to down dog. Feeling free to hold down dog or generating more heat or tapas, I'll invite you to come forward to plank pose and holding your plank for 3 or 4 long, slow breaths. Feeling that connection between your head, your hips, and your heels. Connecting with a virtual iron rod of strength running through the very center of yourself. In plank pose, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, navel to spine as you lift the hips high. Coming back to down dog and holding for another couple of breaths. In down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher, and then looking between the hands as you either step or take that jump front. Take a breath to find length. Keeping that length as we fold again. Inhaling, hands over head pose. Exhaling, standing tall. Second traditional warm-up exercise, Sun Sal B flow style. Inhaling into your chair, knees over toes, hands over head. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, a little back bend at the top. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length as you create length. Keeping that length as you ground down, and making your way back to down dog as you will. You can always skip vinyasa and just find down dog and hold. flow style. From down dog, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky for the three-legged dog. High on the left toes. Looking between the hands, wait for it, pitching that leg even higher, and then sweeping that right foot through, landing it lightly as you spin the back heel down. Arms out to the side and then overhead. Inhaling. And then riding the exhale back to low lunge. As you spin that back heel up, there it is. And then from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Awesome. Nice segmentation between the movements. Awesome. Yeah. From down dog, second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Looking between the hands, pitching that leg even higher, and then sweeping that left foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead warrior one. And then riding the exhale back to low lunge, grounding down through both hands, and then spinning the back heel up. Awesome, nice segmentation. And then back to down dog, as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, yogi's choice. Take your time, find your flow, follow your breath. As we hold down dog, coming back to Samarvriti, same breath. Long, smooth breaths in, followed by equally long, smooth breaths out. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take that jump front. Take a breath to find length as we arc, dipping back hard. On the exhale, folding again as we puff out back hard and round the spine. Inhaling, stay low, knees over toes, finding flat back, finding Utkatasana, the powerful pose. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, glutes engaged, supporting that back bend at the top. On the exhale, finding flat back, our neutral spine, hands by your side. Adding a dragon dog into our mix. Inhaling into our chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. I'm going to fix it right here. Inhaling, finding length. Keeping that length as you fold again. And making your way back to down dog as you will. Take your time. Find your flow. From down dog, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky for the three-legged dog. High on the left toes. On an exhale, knee to nose to knee, shoulders over wrists. And inhale it up. You might even find more flat back here. Exhale it forward. Yeah, there it is. Inhale it up. We'll hold this third one before we step the foot front. Exhale it forward. Inhale and hold. And on that next exhale, getting that foot as far front as you can. Yeah, step it front. There you go. Spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side. And then overhead, inhaling. And then riding the exhale back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. And we got one more side to do. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. On an exhale, knee to nose to knee, that's it. And inhale it up. Exhale it forward. Inhale it up. We'll hold this third one. Exhale it forward. Inhale and hold. And then navel to spine as you step that foot as far front as you can, spinning the back heel down. Arms out to the side and then overhead. And then riding the exhale back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Take your time. Find your flow. Follow your breath. And if you're practicing at home, there's plenty of time. We'll always wait. Like being on a hike, you don't want to get too far in front of the people you're leading on a hike. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Exhale into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take that jump from. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. On the inhale, finding your chair pose, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, a little back bend at the top. On the exhale, hands by your side, neutral spine. Let's do one more sun sal B. We'll throw a twist into our dragon dog. Are you up for it?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Really.
Grab a little water first.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. It's one of our rare hot days here in San Francisco. It's supposed to get up to 25 today.
Oh, yeah. We'll be in the solarium all day today.
There you go. All right. Finding your chair pose. Inhale. Exhaling, taking it lower. Can you go a little lower? That's it. Inhaling, rising on up, finding that back bend at the top. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. Keeping that length as we fold again. And back to down dog. As you will. Welcome, Karen. Flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. Finding your dragon dog, right knee to right elbow. Maybe give it a tap, maybe not. And inhale it up. Now adding the twist, right to left. Maybe give it a tap. This is a hard one. And inhale it up. Now we'll bring the knees center and a hold for the inhale. And on the exhale, stepping that foot as far front as you can, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead. Inhaling. And then riding the exhale back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. On an exhale, left knee to left elbow, maybe give it a tap, maybe not. And inhale it up. Now finding the twist, left to right, maybe tap it, maybe not. And then back up. Now bringing the knees center and holding for the inhale. And on that next exhale, navel to spine as you bring that foot front, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side and then overhead. Inhaling. And then riding the exhale back to low lunge. And then back to down dog as you will. Hold down dog, again coming back to Samarviti, same breath. Long, smooth breaths in. Equally long, smooth breaths out. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. More space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take that jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. Keeping that length as we fold again. Inhaling, finding your chair pose, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart. You might ask you to face camera, nice. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as you line up each finger. Relax shoulders, a soft tuck of the chin. Watching as our breath flows in. And watching as our breath flows out. Lifting the chin, hands by your side. If the feet are hip width apart, stay right there. Otherwise, stepping or jumping your feet hip width apart. You can go extra wide, outer hip width if you'd like. Up to you. Working with our fire breath, short, sharp exhalations out through the nose. As we inhale, arms up in front. On the exhale, bending the knees, casting the hands back 8 times. Couple more. Last one. and then back up and either stepping or jumping it. If it's not quite 8, no big deal. From here, Sun South C, I'll ask you to go sideways, an extended standing pose sequence. Inhaling into your chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length as you arc. Arching the spine as you ground on down and making your way back to down dog as you will. You can take your time. Letting your breath be a metronome for your action. So let's return to three-legged dog. This time we'll add a hip opener. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. Keeping that right shoulder just as it is, twisting from the ribs, lifted leg straight as you stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. Now looking between the hands, wait for it. Pitching that knee even higher. And then sweeping that right foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side. And then overhead, Warrior One. In Warrior One, I'll invite you to bring hands back to the hips. If you're as long as you're going to get, stay right there. Otherwise, shifting weight onto the front foot as you lengthen your stance by scooting that back foot back. Yeah, if you're already long, don't worry about it. With our hands on our hips, we steer our hips front. They're not going to get there. You want to feel that energetic action. Back hip front, front hip back. Now hands find the shoulders, steering heart front. Asymmetrical shoulder rolls. We roll one shoulder front and then the other. Nice place to do this. We've stabilized the low back with one leg front, one leg back. And then taking those asymmetrical shoulder rolls the other way. Now bringing shoulders center and letting them rest onto rib shelf. Finding a clasp of the fingers behind the head. Pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat, elbows wide to the side. Keeping that sense of width across heart and throat chakras as we stretch our hands high. From here, pulling silk threads. We don't want to rip the thread. Straightening front leg without locking the knee as we gather up the energy. Exhaling goalpost or cactus arms 8 times. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're halfway done. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. 2 more to go here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. Breathing out and holding those cactus arms, those goalpost arms. As the elbows move back, the hands come in. I'll invite you to ripple your fingers. And this would be a great go-to stretch at the reception desk. At any point, getting those hands off the keyboard and finding your goalpost arms. From here, let's play with a balance sequence. Hands find the hips. We spin the back heel up. Either one big step or a couple of steps in. We start to balance on that right foot as the left foot gets light, finding your flamingo. Yeah, we're not doing Warrior 3, we're finding flamingo. So we're going to lift that up, so it looks like this. That's it, yeah. With a soft point to the toe. From here, maybe turning it into the baby dancer. Reaching down from the outside to catch the foot from the inside. Now stretching left hand high, lining up the knees. Nice. And then any amount, starting to pitch your body forward as you kick the foot into the hand to deepen back heart. Either looking down to the ground or past those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. Awesome. What a nice dancer. From a pitch forward position, coming back upright. Left hand finds left hip. We're going to swing that right hand finds right hip. We're going to swing left thigh high back to the flamingo. And then we want to lean a little bit forward without dropping the thigh as we lengthen through that leg. Yeah, can you lean a little bit more forward? I want you to all about the low belly, not about the back. Lifting that leg even higher. Now flexing the foot as we sweep it on through. We're going to come back to Warrior One with our hands on our hips. Feel free to adjust yourself for Frank. Turning Warrior One hips into Warrior Two hips as we steer the hips sideways. Kicking the back foot in for a narrower stance and then finding one long arm. Looking past those front fingers with a steady and relaxed gaze. From here, painting rainbows, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, inhaling. Exhaling, warrior two. We'll do 8 of these. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. We're halfway done. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We got 2 more to go. Breathing in, breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. We'll hold. Reaching up higher, reaching down further, finding more space between each rib with every breath. Spreading our fingers wide, mimicking our ribs as we find more space in our hands. And breathing into that space. From the reverse warrior back to warrior two. Now finding your rainbow warrior. A clasp of the fingers behind the back. Would you like a strap or a band?
And the right hand.
What? Give you a little band, why not?
Yeah.
Awesome. And then open heart, open throat, finding the back bend first. Yeah, find the back bend first. Now taking that deep dive inside the front leg. When you found your deep dive, letting the neck relax, letting the head be heavy, and then letting those shoulders slide off the ribs and down towards the floor. We can use a clasp of the fingers, but the band gives you so much more freedom to find a little more space in your back. So if the band's handy, I'll highly recommend the band. Or strap or towel or tie. In our rainbow warrior, I'll suggest a strong tuck of the chin. Feel that first as we stretch out the back of our neck. And then bringing it up, we'll lose the band or the strap as we come back to our warrior two. Transitioning to triangle pose. Thumb and forefinger finds crease of hip and base of rib on a little teacup as we deepen that crease and lengthen those ribs, we pitch it forward. Either grounding bottom hand down, thumb in line with shin bone as we wrap the calf, or you might bring a brick or bricks outside the calf. Is that high enough? You want to go a little higher?
Yeah,
Excellent.
I'm a little out of practice here.
There you go. I know, we took a week off. We're in Atlanta, Georgia for the National College Rugby Sevens Championship.
Yay.
Yeah. With this top hand, we can rotate our ribs. Now opening up that shoulder. Now stretching hand high. Different ways to work the hand. Some practices work a closed hand. I'm in favor of a nice wide open hand as we find more space in that hand. Nice, beautiful. As we hold the shape, breathing into center, a big ball of energy, front, back, side, to the center of yourself. From that ball of energy, connecting with the pulsation of the breath as you send energy out into the universe. Second balance challenge here. Top hand finds the hip. We're moving towards a half moon. Softening the front knee for either one big step or a couple of steps back. Setting your base. Right hand off to the right. So if we use a brick or not. Pouring weight into foot and hand as the back foot gets light. We can keep hand on hip, or maybe that top hand rotates the ribs, opens up the shoulder, and then stretches high to the sky. Now either staying here or reaching back from the outside to catch the foot or the ankle from the inside. There you go, beautiful. That's going to open up the bottom shoulder, or the top shoulder a little bit more. And then kicking the foot into the hand as we deepen back hard, either looking down, off to the side, or up to the sky. From a bound back foot, we'll find a long back leg. All hands find all hips as we soften the front knee for a big step back. Feel free to adjust yourself. And we'll come back to our warrior two. One long arm looking past those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. In our warrior two, I'll suggest a big windmill of the arms as we stretch out our shoulders, spinning back heel up for low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, your choice. Once we get to down dog, let's take a little interlude here. It'll be short, so you might grab some water, you might find a child's pose. Maybe you play with your handstand prep if you have some donkey kicks in your practice. Otherwise, I'll cue a plank pose for Kathy here in this room. You ready for a plank?
Sure.
All right, inhaling forward to plank. Again, feeling that connection between head, hips, and heels. Connecting with that virtual rod of energy that runs from the crown through the heels. As we hold the plank, Samavritti, same breath, long smooth breaths in. Equally long smooth breaths out. If you're playing with your donkey kicks at home, make sure you get both sides evenly. For the purposes of this room, in plank pose, long smooth breath in. Equally long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, navel to spine as you lift the hips high, getting ready for your second side. You need a break? You ready to go?
I'm gonna one more.
A little more water? Okay. Awesome. Kathy's
Just enough left.
taking care of herself. First rule of yoga, ahimsa. Take care of yourself. Do no harm.
Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, second side.
Second side. We're ready. Flow style. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky. High on the right toes. Keeping that left shoulder just as it is, twisting from the ribs, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. Wait for it, looking between the hands, pitching that knee even higher, feel the engagement of the glute, and then sweeping that left foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead for your warrior one. In warrior one, I'll invite you to bring hands back to the hips. If you're as long as you're going to get, stay right there. Otherwise, lengthening your stance as you shift weight onto the front foot to scoot that back from the back. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front. They're not going to get there, but you want to feel that energetic action. Now, hands find the shoulders, steering the heart front. Asymmetrical shoulder rolls as we roll one shoulder front and then the other. And then taking those rolls the other way. Now bringing shoulders back center and letting them settle onto rib shelf. Switching the clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat, elbows wide to the side. And then keeping that width across heart and throat chakra as we stretch those hands high. From here, pulling silk thread, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, inhaling. Exhaling, goalpost or cactus arms, 8 times, breathing in and breathing out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're halfway done. Breathing in, breathing out, in, breathing out. Last 2 here, breathing in. Breathing out, last 1, breathing in, breathing out and holding those goalposts or cactus arms, elbows move back, the hands come with, rippling those fingers. And again, at any point on the desk today, I'll invite you to find at least one of these, if not 2. Yeah, and those asymmetrical shoulder rolls are a good one too. Now moving towards our balance challenge. Hands find the hips, we spin the back heel up. Big step in as we're going to move towards our flamingo. So it's not warrior 3, different sequence today. Awesome. And you can stay right here. It's a challenge to balance on one foot, not an easy challenge. Taking it to Natarajanasana, the dancer. This is easy dancer. As you reach from the outside to catch the foot from the inside, you're going to lift left hand high, so nice and tall. Feel free to stay here. You might just work the quad stretch, staying upright. Otherwise, we'll add the quad stretch and a forward fold, any amount, as we pitch the body forward and kicking the foot into the hand. So it's not just about the quad stretch, it's also about deepening back hard here. So yeah, beautiful. Awesome. Now we're either looking down to the ground, very grounding, or past those front fingers with that mixture of effort and ease. From a pitched forward position, we'll come back upright. Left hand finds left hip. We're going to swing right thigh high back to the flamingo. 2 hands find 2 hips, and I want you to lean a little bit forward because you want to draw the energy into energy center. You want to keep your low back super happy here as you lengthen through that leg without dropping the thigh. Awesome. Soft point to the toe. You relax those toes a little bit. There you go. Lifting that leg a little higher. And then flexing the foot as you sweep it on through back to warrior 1. With your hands on your hips. Feel free to adjust yourself. Using those hands to steer warrior 1 hips into warrior 2 hips as we steer the hips sideways. And then finding one long arm looking past those front fingers with a mixture of effort and ease. And you want to practice that look for any problem patrons at the library today. maybe don't
Can't
give,
do that.
Don't give him the Bronx cheer.
Well, I have a mask on though.
Okay, fair enough.
Mask, Barry.
All right, we're going to paint rainbows here. Straightening front leg without locking knee. Inhale. And exhale.
It'll be nice forever.
Inhale.
Happily.
And exhaling. We'll do 8. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. We're halfway done. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. We got 2 more to go here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. Breathing in and holding that reverse warrior. Reaching up higher. Reaching down further. Finding more space between each rib with every breath. And spreading our fingers wide. Mimicking our ribs as we find more space in our hands. And breathing into all that space. Now turning the reverse warrior back into warrior 2. Transitioning to our triangle. Thumb and forefinger finds crease of hip and base of rib. We deepen that crease and lengthen those ribs. Setting our foundation, we can ground bottom hand down in line, thumb in line with the shin bone as we wrap the calf. Or my favorite option is to put a brick or 2 outside the calf. If you use the bricks, feeling a nice physical connection between the brick and the calf. Once we have our foundation, we can rotate our ribs with that top hand. We can open up that shoulder. And then stretching hand high to the sky. Either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up to the sky. As we breathe in, we draw air into our lungs. Our diaphragm draws down towards our navel. We've got 3-dimensional navel here, so gathering energy in that center. With every breath out, as the air moves out of our lungs, the diaphragm relaxes and domes up to the heart on an impetus, sending energy out from the center of yourself to the periphery of the universe. Now moving towards the half moon balance challenge. Top hand finds the hip, we can soften the front knee. Taking 1 step or maybe a few steps in, you might even drag the foot. Setting our base, left hand off to the left, with or without a brick, set the base first. And now pouring weight into hand and foot as the back foot gets light. We can use that top hand to rotate our ribs, opening up shoulder, stretching hand high to the sky. Either hanging out here or reaching from the outside to catch the foot from the inside as we start to move towards Ardha Chakrasana. So Ardha Chandrasana to Ardha Chakrasana. And then kicking the foot into the hand, couple things going on. We're stretching quads, we're deepening back heart. Either looking down, very grounding, off to the horizon or up to the sky. Wherever you choose to work. Samarviti, long smooth breaths in. Equally long, smooth breaths out. From a bound back foot, finding a long back leg, all hands find all hips as we soften the front knee for a big step back, coming back to our warrior 2. And from warrior 2, when you're there, a big windmill of the arms as you stretch out your shoulders for low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Take your time. Awesome. From down dog, I'll invite you to land the knees lightly as we find a child's pose. Arms in extension, sits bones back towards the heels, keeping the elbows lifted as long as you can as you heavy the forehead through. And then letting the arms relax. As we hold this child's pose, I'll invite you to gently rock your body side to side, finding your belly breath, letting your belly massage your thighs as you breathe in. Letting your thighs massage your belly as you breathe out, even if that's just on an energetic level. Your Kathy's belly is a little smaller than mine. Now bringing everything back center, keeping hips and heels just as they are. Let's find a side bend as we walk our hands to one side, stretching far hip to far heel. Now walking hands through center. And let's find that second side as we stretch other hip to other heel. So side bend other way. One of my favorite stretches here. Now walking hands center. Let's come to Vajrasana As we connect the knees and sit on our heels, we're going to walk our feet on in. I'll suggest palms on our thighs. Relax shoulders tall through the crown. As we sit in Vajrasana, I'll invite you to bring your hands to your ears. Ears, now hands to shoulders, over shoulders. Hands to ears, hands to shoulders, ears and shoulders, hands to hips. One more time. Ears, shoulders, hips. And then palms on our thighs as we sit tall. Beautiful. From here, let's find two long arms in front, thumbs face up. Right thumb goes up to the sky. It crosses over the wrists. We're going to spin the hands in as we clasp the fingers. And we're going to roll our hands in towards our heart as we stretch. What's going on here? So start again. Arms in front. Right arm goes up, crosses over. We clasp the fingers. Now we're going to roll them down and in. There you go. Yeah, take your time. Don't go too fast. Feel the stretch. And this will be awesome for your keyboarding a little later on. Now we're going to roll the hands back in towards the heart, moving slowly here. Two long arms in front. Releasing the clasp. Switching the cross of the fingers. Yeah, you want to stay there. Clasping the fingers, we're going to roll the hands in towards the heart as we stretch out those wrists. Again, don't go too fast, don't go too far. It's going to be super intense. And I'm not sure, do you really have you have a way more range of mobility than I do if you can get all the way down there.
Just on one side.
Okay, fair enough. And then we're going to roll the hands back in. Two long arms in front. Releasing the clasp of the fingers, palms on our thighs. Let's work a little shoulder work here. So we're going to inhale the shoulders up to the ears. On the exhale, let's let them drop. A couple more times. One more time. Now, keeping the shoulders relaxed, palms on the thigh. Let's work the neck a little bit as we look up and down. Up and down. One more here. We're going to look up and hold as we enjoy a nice stretch in the base of our throat. Now tucking the chin and holding as we enjoy a nice stretch in the back of our neck. And then back to center, using your hands here, ears over shoulders, ears and shoulders over hips, palms on our thighs. Let's go side to side, keeping those shoulders relaxed as we bring an ear to a shoulder. Back through center, other side. A couple more times each way. And on that third one, we'll hold that stretch as we stretch out the far side of the neck. Back through center, other side, stretching out the other far side of the other side of the neck. And then back to center. Again, hands find the ears, over shoulders, ears and shoulders, over hips, flat palms on our thighs. Let's do a couple more things for our hands here. Hands are in front, the palms face out. We're going to bring the thumb inside. Yeah, just the thumb, and then outside. So it's really just the thumb. There you go. Just stretching out your thumb. It's back and forth. Next time the thumb is outside, we're going to hold that stretch as you stretch out the inside of the thumb. Then we're going to bring the thumb inside. We'll hold that as we stretch out the outside of the thumb. And then releasing the shape. Palms on our thighs. Like we did way back when. I'll invite you to play the piano. Or the keyboard. Still playing Edelweiss? Mm-hmm. Edelweiss, Edelweiss. And then palms on our thighs. From here, let's bring our feet off to the side. Let's come to the top of our mat. We'll do a long, slow roll down onto our back. So two long legs in front. Starting from your tall spine. Now finding C-spine as you tuck tail and chin and slowly roll yourself down. You might want to come a little more forward. You might hit a lamp or a chessboard there. Slow, slow, slow. Nice. Now finding your full body stretch, arms overhead, not too low. We want to keep the ribs soft and drawing in. Big breath in, low back lifts. Now pressing your back into the mat to recruit your core as you bring hands by hips and walk the feet in. Now you're going to draw one knee in towards the heart, the other knee follows, hands cap the knees. And you're going to circle your sacrum, any amount. Yeah. Releasing and relaxing the low back. Now taking those sacrum circles the other way. Now bringing knees center, we're going to hug 2 knees into the heart. Then we're going to circle them out to the side. And keep going like this, noticing the undulations of the low back. As the knees draw in, the low back, or the low back grounds, the tailbone lifts. As the knees draw out, the low back lifts, the tailbone grounds. And then taking those circles the other way. And we're going to hug those knees into the heart again. We're going to trace those same circles, but one knee goes one way, one knee goes the other. So egg beater knees. Notice how this asymmetrical action of the leg stabilizes the low back. It's like we're walking, one leg front, one leg back. We want our low back to be stable when we walk. And then taking those egg beater knees the other way. Now drawing 2 knees in, keep them nice and wide. We're moving towards a happy baby here. Soles of the feet face the sky. We catch ankles or outside edges of the feet. As we hold the happy baby, gently rocking it from side to side. Massaging our kidneys, releasing and relaxing our low back. And then bringing the baby back center, coming back to a focus on your breath. Watching as it flows in. And watching as it flows out. Keeping this focus on the breath initially as we lengthen through one leg and then the other. Arms out to the side, palms face up when we move that band. Scooting the head back as you flatten your shoulders. Finding your Shavasana. Tip of the tongue now neutral in your mouth. A slight part to your lips, but still breathing in and out through your nose. And we won't be here too long. As we hold our Shavasana, feeling the front plane of the body falling into the back plane. And both planes of the body heavying into the floor. I'm going to ring these yoga bells 3 times. I'll invite you to move your mind before you move your body. Bring your attention back to your breath, watching as it flows in. And watching as it flows out. Like watching a river as that river flows by. Now shaping your breath as we find a long, slow breath in, followed by an even longer, slower breath out, starting to vary the ratio between the inhale and the exhale as we find a more relaxing breath. Long, smooth breaths in. Equally long, smooth breaths out. Oh, sorry, not equally. Longer, slower breaths out. Keeping these longer, slower exhalations. I'll invite you to ripple fingers and toes, inviting more prana into your body. Now inviting that prana in towards center as we gently circle our wrists and our ankles a couple times each way. Adding a little shimmy of the shoulders, a little shake of the hips, whatever feels right and good for you. Connecting with your own innate sense of well-being. Now pressing your back into the mat to recruit your core and support the action of the legs. As you draw one knee into the heart, the other knee follows. Hands cap the knees or find the shins. I'll invite you to use your thighs to massage your low belly as you gently lift and lower the low back and hips. Front to back, side to side, little circles. Whatever feels right and good for you. Keeping the neck relaxed. Reaching back with a hand to lift and tuck the chin. Chin stays tucked as the hand comes back to the shin. Either working shins or back of thighs, up to you as we start to rock ourselves front to back to front, massaging our spine. And then a little momentum, a little core engagement as you rock on up and find a cross-legged sit. I'll ask you to face camera. As we sit, grounded down through our sits bones, I'll invite you to bring hands onto your knees. Pulling back with your hands to settle the shoulders. Long through all sides of the neck with a soft tuck of the chin. One hand finds the heart, the other hand on top. Ending our practice, listening and feeling as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bow as you thank yourself for practicing yoga, and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. The light within us honors and respects the light within you. And in this light, we are one. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you at home for practicing with us. Thank you, Kathy, for practicing with me.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone.
And as always, namaste sounds so much like have a nice day.
Have
And
a nice day.
We'll see you all
Love
real
you.
soon.